She's kind of like a walking minion early on. Like,
Great, just what I always wanted to be.
Yeah, so I mean, she doesn't really do anything level 1. She's like one of the worst like level 1 supports. I mean, like, there might be worse, but literally all she can do is like walk up to people and stun them. Because like if you started E, then you would just dash to them and then not be able to do anything afterwards. And if you start W, like it just means you take less damage when you're getting hit by them, but you're not going to hurt them at all. So like, what's the point? But at least you can threaten them slightly with a Q. Also, one of the things that helps Leona do damage early on is that her Q is an auto attack reset. So you can do, like you walk up to somebody or you hit them with the E, then you can auto them and then immediately activate your Q, and then she'll stun them, and then she'll auto attack again. So you can do like a little miniature amount of burst like that. So Leona's one of those champions that gets like the level 2 power spike because she gets to be able to dive the AD carry, or whoever's like caught out. You want to take E level 2 for sure. The way it works is that it's a pass through, but then it makes you dash to the, either says the last person hit or the one that's furthest away, which I'm sure 99% of the time is the same person. It also only roots one person. You'd think that it like roots everyone it touches, but I think it only roots the person that you end up dashing to. Most Leonas will max their W first, because it gives them the most resistances, and since you're a tank, that's kind of like what you want. Leona is actually classified as a tank, not a support.
Yeah, when, like the first time I ever played her, back in like my first or second week, and someone was like, Leona, you suck, it was because they were trying to convince me that she could only be played as a support. And I remember thinking, like, that seems wrong because, like, her thing said tank and, like, she does damage.
Part of the reason why that person may have said that is because she needs to have a teammate around to make full use of her abilities.
Well, I had a teammate around. He was landing with me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
we were both top.
People don't play Leona outside of the support role, even though she's classified as a tank. I guess like very rarely will they ever play her outside of that role. Like my brother, he likes to play Leona in jungle, like heal the Jinx. Stun. No, you can't stun him. Ooh, that was a close one. Yeah, Olaf is one of those bots that won't run away. You should tell him just Olaf. Or say like just Olaf. Fights to the death. Yeah. Or doesn't run. No, whatever. So Leona has 3 ways of immobilizing enemies. The first one is the short route on her E, and then the stun from her Q, and the AoE stun from her ult. So if you're able to catch anybody out, then you have all the abilities to do your own CC chain. So you want to try and space them out, kind of like time them so that you get the maximum amount of stun time or whatever. So if you're close enough to use your E, then you should probably go for that, but the ult has a much larger range. It's much easier to catch people out with it. So much like every other tank support, or tanks in general I guess, Leona is going to be one of those champions that typically wants to be in front of her AD carry. She has a modest amount of peel by being able to stun anybody who tries to jump on the Jinx, but she doesn't have a way of, since Jinx is an immobile or a low mobility champion, like she can't, throw her a Thresh Lantern or put up a Silence Field and give her heals. So instead, like, your only recourse in the scenario where Jinx gets dove is that, like, you have to stay near her, right? But using your E kind of does the opposite of that. So sometimes you have to be judicious with what abilities you want to use and when, if you want to be able to keep your AD carry alive. So that was a good use of your ult because I think that the Olaf was ulting at the time, but you were able to stun him. They weren't able to do damage to you, and you're able to use it in a more supportive kind of way where you're appealing for someone with it. So you're up against Blitzcrank, and Leona, in my opinion, is a great champion to have against Blitzcrank because, well, she can stand in front to block all the hooks, and then if she gets grabbed, that's a free gap closer. Like you got pulled towards them, which is something that Leona already wants. Also, if Leona gets grabbed, then she can just activate her W, and all of a sudden she's just not taking very much damage, right? It's not very tragic when she gets pulled.
One of the reasons why I wanted to buy Leona is because...
Oh wait, we're not against Blitzcrank. We're against Zillion.
Oh, well, whatever. But yeah, one of the reasons why I wanted to buy Leona was because I thought that she might be helpful for me in like learning to like be up front in the middle, because she does have so many defensive abilities that like it makes me less scared to go up there. Would you ever suggest maxing Q first? Because like that's my instinct, because I feel like I use that the most.
No, I wouldn't do that. I can't think of really any scenario in which I wouldn't want to be maxing W on Leona, especially early on in a skirmish or in a fight, trades in bot lane. Like you're not going to, the reduced cooldown on your Q, it's going to be a non-factor. Like you're not going to stun somebody twice in one skirmish, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you are going to get like the maximum amount of tankiness from using your W, like the one time. The damage bonus from leveling up your Q is also super modest, and the bonus damage you get from your passive actually scales with what level Leona is. It doesn't have nothing to do with like how strong your abilities are. The damage boost from leveling it up is pretty much the same as if you had been leveling up your W, but your W can hit multiple people. So you guys are both level 4. Vayne's only level 3. So if you can posture very aggressively against her. So
What
like
does that mean?
like step forward, make her be afraid to try and CS. Yeah, you can just go on it right now.
Eh.
Use your D on her. Yes. So why don't you try hiding in a bush, the bottom bush. They're gonna push the wave, and then by the time the minion wave starts walking past this bush, so will they, and you can probably just straight up like ulti them from Fog of War, and then just dive them with the rest. So yeah, right now. Go get her, use the rest. There you go. Stun her again. Nice.
Yay!
Hooray.
We did something successfully!
Nice. So you have to keep reminding yourself, like you want to step up earlier, like you were standing behind the Varus, behind the minions, and you missed out on a lot of like shots on the turret.
Yeah. My W shield me from the turret.
Yes, because it gives you bonus armor and magic resist, so it resists all physical and magical damage. Doesn't matter what the source is.
So she's a good one for tower diving.
Yes. You want to be the one who takes the turret aggro as well. So you can use your Q on towers to help take them down faster.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume it doesn't like stun the tower.
No. But you do deal the bonus damage, and you can do that thing where you auto attack cancel, so you can like hit the turret 3 times really fast. And like auto attack, hit it with a Q, and then auto attack again.
Why don't people play Leona? Like, I hardly ever see her except for like as a bot in bot games. But like, she seems really good.
I've always felt Leona was strong. A lot of people don't take her because for a while there, tank supports, melee supports, they just completely fell out of favor, giving way for the ranged poke healing supports, the shield supports. So let's think of it this way. So Leona seems pretty great at locking people down, diving the enemies, staying alive. Great. But can you do that if you fall behind? Like, can you reasonably expect to survive as a tank by just straight up diving people who are way stronger than you? Like, not really. Since that's like all Leona is really, like it's gonna sound like, I mean it as literally as it sounds like, that's all she's really good for. If people start diving her AD carry, then she can, you know, do a couple of things about that. But it's not nearly as effective as like throwing on a bunch of shields, heals, and a stun if you're like Sona.
Right.
So then what does your job become? If you can't dive them, what are you doing? Nothing. So yeah. Personally, I find Leona, it feels really, really, really good as Leona to do Leona things. As soon as you start getting ahead, most people just become straight up scared of you because you have enough CC to lock someone down long enough to kill them. But when the tables are turned, diving as Leona just gets you killed.
So she's one of those all or nothing champions.
Pretty much. because she has a way of going in. She doesn't have a way of getting out.